Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women warm. I've been kicked around since I was born. And now it's alright, it's okay. And you may look the other way, but we can try to understand the New York Times effect on men. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, we're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking. We're staying alive, staying alive. Ah, 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 staying alive, staying alive. Ah, 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 staying alive. Ah. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Unrelenting Alchemist. All spiritual all the time. To speak of dimensions is to speak of the layers of our own becoming. You see, the 3D world is where we can touch the ground, where matter and motion define the limits of our experience. It is the plane of survival of the body, of time, as a straight arrow pointing forward. Here, our senses dominate and our habits are conditioned by what we can measure, weigh, and compare. You see, this dimension gives us the scaffolding for life, the texture of mountains and rivers, the certainty of touch and taste. Without it, we would have no stage for our stories. Yet the 3D, for all its solidity, is only one register of the symphony. You see, we live here, yes, but we are not confined here. Even in the most ordinary experience, a breath, a step, a conversation, there are ripples extending beyond that which is visible. The 3D teaches us structure, but it is only the doorway. When we take it as a whole, life feels flat, transactional. When we see it as a foundation, it becomes the fertile ground from which a higher awareness rises. Because then we move into the 4D. That arrow of time begins to bend. Space and time fuse into a fabric, no longer separate threads, and our understanding of sequence becomes far more fluid. In this space, we begin to grasp the continuity of existence, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, as overlapping layers rather than rigid compartments. This is where we start noticing patterns in our lives, how the past loops into the present, how the anticipation of the future shapes today's choices. More than that, the 4D invites us to recognize ourselves as travelers on that fabric. We begin to sense that memories are not locked away, but accessible fields, and the future events may already be pressing up against us like waves about to break. The 4D dimension is not the bridge where linearity loosens its grip. Destiny and free will, they can blur together in altogether mysterious ways. Then there's the 5D, subtler still, a realm of consciousness rather than coordinates. Here, vibration and resonance become true architecture in this plane. This coherence, the intention, the emotional frequency outweighs the physical position. When the mystics speak of transcendence, when they talk of visions, unity, or light, they are gesturing towards the fifth dimension. You see, the 5D is not just a physical location, but it is a quality of awareness. Living in the 5D means perceiving unity beneath diversity. It is the realization that separation is an illusion and that everything is interwoven. This is not a negation of individuality, but an expansion of it, where we realize each being becomes a note in a larger harmony. Compassion becomes the guiding principle because in 5D, what you do to another is inseparable from what you would do to yourself. Retrocausality disrupts the old story that the past causes the future to move in a one-way march. In quantum physics, effects can ripple backwards, influencing initial conditions. What sounds like a paradox is simply a deeper symmetry. Time is a two-way street rather than a river flowing downstream. Spiritual traditions have long intuited this, speaking of destiny, prophecy, and divine orchestration. Seen through this lens, our choices are not made in isolation, but are resonating responses to what we are already becoming. The person you will be in 5 years is already sending signals to the person you are now. The gut feeling that makes no rational sense, the inexplicable urge to turn left instead of right. These can be understood as echoes from the future self, nudging the present self into alignment. This entanglement with the future itself is not abstract, it is lived. The tug of destiny often shows up in uncanny timing, meeting someone by chance who changes everything, hearing words that seem tailor made for your moment of need. These are not accidents, these are entangled dialogues across timelines, where your future self is guiding your steps with subtle force. Every deja vu can be reframed as a quantum correspondence. Your present and your future momentarily converge. In such flashes, time folds in on itself, and you stand at the intersection of what is and what will be, and where those meet. In this sense, life is not a blind unfolding, but an intimate dance with your own becoming. The weave of entanglement itself does not stop there. We are also linked to versions of ourselves that chose differently. Every decision is a branching point. One road taken, others left in the shadow. Yet these roads are not erased. They continue as parallel realities where another version of you lives and continues to breathe. Quantum theory calls them many worlds, but spirituality treats them as facets of the soul's vastness. Imagine all those versions of you, some thriving, some struggling, some living out dreams you never dared. They're not unreachable ghosts, they're your close kin. Their experiences are data points in a shared field of consciousness, available if you know how to listen. The self is not singular, but a constellation, and each star is a different timeline. To sense those alternate selves is to feel the weight and wonder about possibility. Regret softens when you understand that somewhere, some version of you took that risk, said that word, or walked that path. You may feel sudden waves of longing or bursts of inspiration that seem to come out of nowhere. These may be bleeding through from your other lives. At times, dreams serve as the meeting ground. In sleep, the linear rules loosen and the veils between timelines grow thinner. You might wake with memories of a life you never lived, yet the emotions feel true nonetheless. Perhaps this is your other self whispering across the veil, reminding you that you are bigger than any single narrative. In quantum spirituality, these timelines are not wasted or discarded. They are parallel rivers feeding a larger ocean of being. The version of you who stayed in one relationship and the version who walked away both contribute wisdom to the oversoul. You may not consciously know their stories, but their lessons seep and bleed through into your intuition and shape your instincts. This explains why some lessons feel oddly familiar, as if you have already been through this and lived them. In a sense, you have, not in this branch, but in another. The collective you is enriched and enticed by every path, even those your waking mind never ever felt touch. But the spiritual growth can accelerate, and you're drawing on an archive much larger than your own singular biography. Taken together, existence across 3D, 4D, and 5D reveals a paradox. We are simultaneously local and infinite. We are bodies bound by gravity, yet we're also minds stretching across timelines, entangled with futures and other alternatives. The universe is not a strict chain of causes, but a tapestry where threads tug at each other across vast spans. The shift from 3D to 5D is not a physical relocation, but a change in perception. This is not linearity. Your life is not necessarily closed. The world may feel heavy, but you're entangled with multidimensional things, and this becomes a more spacious road. The weaver and the woven shape your path while also being shaped by it. Therefore, the task is not to escape the 3D, but to live with it in 5D awareness, to honor the physical as sacred ground while listening for the whispers of the timeless self. The higher dimensions are not elsewhere, they are here. They may be hidden in plain sight to you, a hidden realm accessed by a shift of attention. Life in the 3D is the canvas, the 4D and the 5D provide the colors. Every choice you make reverberates across the multiverse of your being, adding threads to the cosmic fabric. When you choose love instead of fear, you send ripples not just forward, but backward and sideways, touching your alternate selves as well as your future ones. To live with this awareness is to live as a quantum being. You are simultaneously grounded, you are infinite, and you are a bridge between worlds. And so, with that, I will proceed to close out with a prayer. Let's take a moment to bow our heads as we embrace the Most High God. Most High God, please continue to allow us to understand divine wisdom, to have the intuition to access multiple timelines, other versions of ourselves, to understand the universe more than just an Everettian many worlds interpretation, but to see that we are indeed quantum entangled with so many things, And in this very real sense, we come to you, Most High God, Yehovah, with our hands extended and waiting for your justice and your mercy. And we thank you for every day that we are alive and the fullness we live in this world. Thank you, and amen, amen, amen. And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I love you. God bless.